We're here to demonstrate releasing biological control agents on a noxious weed known as Leafy Spurge. Noxious means there's a legal mandate to control it and or get rid of it, depending on the level of legislation. In Colorado, Leafy Spurge is a Class B noxious weed, which means it needs to be controlled. We have Class A, which means get rid of it, Class B, which means it has to be controlled, and then there are Class C's, and those less emphasis on getting rid of it, because cheatgrass is one of them that's a Class C weed. It's been here forever and it's very difficult to control. Integrated weed management, or IPM, integrated pest management, that's using a variety of different methods to control it. Quite frequently you can use herbicides to kill it. There are a number of different herbicides that will work, but there's some situations where herbicides are not necessarily the best answer. Another option is biological control or biocontrol, and for Leafy Spurge there are a number of different ways of doing that. You can actually graze it with sheep is one way, but more frequently we use some specialized insects to control it. We've got several different species of flea beetle, which I've got here. We're going to release some flea beetles here in just a minute. We've got some foliage in here for them to feed on and take shelter in, keep moist temporarily. But they're going to want to come out fairly quickly. You can see them kind of crawling around, and now that they're starting to warm up a little bit, they're hopping around like popcorn. So this container has close to 200 flea beetles in it. As I said, there are about 5 different species of flea beetle that have been released to control Leafy Spurge in Colorado. These are probably mostly Aphthona nigroscutus, which is would be the brown one, and Aphthona lacertosa, which would be the black one. These have been the 2 species most released in the country. Warming up a little bit. One of the principles of biological control, one of the big theories, is that when a noxious weed has, for however long or whatever means, arrived in this country, they got here and they're succeeding because they've escaped the natural enemies, the insects that would feed on them in their native range. Leafy Spurge is such a bad problem that we have imported a number of different agents to feed on it. The flea beetles, the adults will feed on the foliage above ground, but the females lay their eggs down in that at the very base of the plant and just in the top layer of soil. And it's actually the larvae that have the biggest impact. When you do releases, you should mark the point of release with a stake of some kind and then take photographs to show what the baseline condition was. Something that's going to be visible. It's always best to GPS these two because things happen to marker stakes. Now when you do biological control releases, it's very important to do some monitoring, follow up, see whether your efforts are having an effect or not. So you should always mark the center of your release point in some fashion where you can get back to it in subsequent years. Biological control is not a case of instant gratification. It takes a while. Beetles have to establish themselves, create further generations, and it's over time that biological control really works.